Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're all doing fantastic. Hope you've all been taking care of yourselves and that you're all having a great day. Don't forget to leave a like. It is a free and easy way to support the channel, and without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So the last, I want to say 5, 6, 7, 8 days, over a week, has kind of dragged us back to Optimism City. A lot of people over the course of the summer were quite negative, logical enough, as the expectation was from just about every single analyst in the news every day was that prices were going to begin pumping for whatever reason it might be. Anywhere between a Bart Simpson, a BlackRock, a Coinbase, some kind of price manipulation, or a cup and handles. Prices did not move over the course of the summer, and many people were simply calling it a reaccumulation phase, what have you. One of the big annoyances, at least on my part, was constantly hearing the negativity surrounding the ETFs. The ETFs were something that people wanted since around 2012. Everyone was talking about them, and then when we finally got them, there was a lot of fanfare, obviously. However, when prices began to trend sideways and or downward, even while we had inflows, people were seemingly not paying attention. There would be, so I'll give it to you this way. Over the course of a month, we typically have 30 days in a month, right? Cool. I know some have 31. I know one has 28. Got it. Over the course of a 30-day period, 8 of the days might have had some kind of an outflow from the actual Bitcoin ETFs. And I mean, some days it was $2 million, some days it was $14 million, but nothing like, it wasn't like $800 billion in one go, like that kind of thing. And everyone began to sour on the idea of any kind of outflows from any of the Bitcoin ETFs around the world. And even when we had days, I think the number is, if I remember correctly, it might be different now because Bitcoin's price keeps moving. The number was, I think if you purchased more than $30 million worth of Bitcoin in one day, you basically absorbed the entire daily supply of Bitcoin. So there were a lot of days where we had inflows of $27 million, $31 million. Some days it was like 42. And everyone wasn't satisfied because everyone kept on hearing that the inflows needed to be multiple days of Bitcoin or it simply wasn't worth it. Right. So the cryptocurrency market has had a lot of bullish indicators, for the last maybe like decade or so. The levels of adoption are quite high. They continue to rise. There are new wallet addresses every single day. There's tons of money flowing into the space. People are still working on Bitcoin. The amount of money flowing through the network is at an all-time high. The amount of mining power, we had that news maybe 2 weeks ago, also is 8 times higher than it was during the last bull run. Everything's pretty A-okay. So since everyone is back on the hype, optimism, happy train once again, this of course made very, very popular news. It says in a major development, Bitcoin ETFs have made a substantial purchase, acquiring $250 million, $250 million worth of Bitcoin in the past day. One day. This marks the highest single day acquisition by Bitcoin ETFs in over a month. So this is literally roughly near 10 days worth of Bitcoin. What is that? 7, 8 days of all the mined Bitcoin that would go onto market that does not go onto market was accumulated by ETFs in one fell swoop. This made news because the number was higher than the other numbers. I know that sounds ridiculous. It's because most days in the summer, we did have inflows of $114 million, $88 million. But if the price didn't move or the price even moved down, people were like, well, what's wrong with the ETFs? For those of you who missed it, about a week ago, there was news that a lot of people, this was like, I mean, it's still kind of a thing on Twitter. A lot of people were accusing is the right word, accusing Coinbase of colluding with BlackRock in offering paper Bitcoin, like Bitcoin that's not real, like it says it's there on paper, if you will, but that they weren't actually swapping Bitcoin or that BlackRock wasn't actually buying Bitcoin. Once again, none of this was proven, substantiated in any way, shape, or form. But a lot of people questioned and were questioning for a while, if the ETFs are absorbing so much Bitcoin, why isn't the price moving? And the answer apparently was OTC, as it has been for a while, over the counter. They were basically buying, allegedly, from Coinbase's cold wallets that weren't attached to any cryptocurrency exchange. And therefore, this is how allegedly they were able to do it. Sure, kind of, why not? So upon hearing that a whole bunch of new money has flown back into the Bitcoin ETFs, as it's already been doing over the course of the entirety of the summer, now we're getting those discussions once again, as we have been over the last week, of where Bitcoin's price is going. For those of you who don't know, who are unaware, uninitiated, or simply just haven't been on the internet in the past 10 months, a lot of people are saying, once again, Q4, quarter 4, October, November, December as the time frame for Bitcoin's price to go a lot higher. This is the time when we're expecting like a $100,000, $150,000 Bitcoin, which I will add, since around March, April, I want to say April, May. Remember, we did hear from a lot of analysts in springtime that they were anticipating a $100,000 to a $150,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year, around December. So they might still be correct. According to blockchain analytics provider, that was it. There was a comma there. Yeah, that news was from Arkham Intelligence. Fantastic. They said Bitcoin ETFs are buying. Wow. The Bitcoin ETFs acquired $250 million worth of Bitcoin yesterday. That's the most in over a month. And here's the tweet for it right here. So, in unsurprising cryptocurrency news, whales have been buying nonstop. That's just been a common trend that we talk about all the time. Whales are constantly buying, like actually on chain, from cryptocurrency exchanges. The last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of whale news and whale buying and people writing articles. Prices are going back up. People are buying, and it's like, nope, they've been buying the entire time. So, I mean, it's been a month, like just a month. Everyone has this kind of like woe is us attitude, as I said before in the summer. Instead of looking at the actual metrics and where the money is going and where the money's flowing to and who's taking the money away from you, because that's also been a super big thing. All these institutions have been buying up tons of crypto. People paid attention to the $8 million worth of outflows, but not the $249 million worth of inflows. I don't know why. The same exact thing happened with Ethereum nearly every single day. Some days there was $2 million worth of outflows, and every article was like, well, it looks like Ethereum's done for. The market's going to go down. No one's buying Ethereum. And that same day, there was $22 million worth of inflows, but no one responded to that one. So I guess since the Fed cut interest rates and everyone is kind of back to being happy and all that stuff once again, yeah, the ETFs are buying, once again, egregious amounts of Bitcoin. We are probably still, as I said before, going to live in a world where just the 7 or 8 or whatever ETFs within the United States are probably at some point going to hold 1.5 million or 2 million Bitcoin, and then people will be shocked. How could they do this? How was that possible? I don't understand what's happening. Because they've been buying all the time. And also people are buying without the ETFs. The constant number that we are told to pay attention to is how much Bitcoin the ETFs are buying as opposed to the millions of people on the planet who are buying Bitcoin every single day. And also like a lot of Bitcoin. We just heard that MicroStrategy bought, was it like 16,000 Bitcoin? Some other company just bought 3,000 Bitcoin. What was the other one? The Japanese one bought 400 Bitcoin. And those are just the companies who are telling us. Don't forget that 12 central banks are also holding billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. That's a thing that people forget far too often. Right. Cool. That's the ETFs are still buying, as they have been the entire time, but people just aren't paying attention because people like to be negative. Okie dokie. Let's move on. Also in the news, something called Steno Research, Steno Research, in a report noted that Ether's recent underperformance, I air quoted quite heavily there, may be over, and it could be time to shine again, both in fiat terms and relative to Bitcoin. I don't know why so many people don't like Ethereum. I have a theory. It used to be a number of years ago, a lot of Bitcoin like maximalists for some reason just did not like Ethereum. They probably thought it could have become the number one coin, so you have to throw as much hate around as humanly possible to let everyone know that they should also be hating something that you hate, because that's how humans work, because humans are stupid. The other part is that recently, a lot of people, I think, are coming to terms with the fact that Ethereum is the most used blockchain on the planet. And I mean coming to terms with, because we've had a very long legacy of companies and people creating coins that they marketed as the thing that was going to overtake Ethereum. If you're going to sit there and pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about, you have Solana, you have Tron, you have Cardano, you have EOS. What other projects have like disappeared and failed? Over the years, nearly every coin, nearly every blockchain that appeared said or claimed that they could take over Ethereum or would become the number 2 coin and then eventually the number 1 coin. So once Ethereum, very similar to, for those of you who are also forgot, around the middle of this year, when we heard that we were getting Ethereum ETFs, part of the issue ended up being is that a lot of Bitcoin maximalists, like Michael Saylor, went onto the news and made weird YouTube videos where they were telling everyone that there would never, ever, ever be an Ethereum ETF. Ethereum ETFs popped up. And do you remember what they all said the next week? They were like, oh, like, no, actually, like, they're good for Bitcoin. Like, they're really great for the crypto space. And it's like, okay. Ethereum has not been underperforming. Everything has been doing terribly. People do that all the time, especially in crypto, where they pretend that their coins haven't been doing bad, that their cryptocurrencies haven't gone down by 28%. Ethereum goes down by $600 and everyone's like, well, that's it. No one's liking the coin anymore. And recently as well, it hasn't, as far as I can tell from Twitter, it hasn't been people from the XRP corner. I haven't seen it nearly at all from anyone dealing with Cardano. The people from Cardano are kind of like, okay, I'll put it to you this way. The community of Cardano, not the creators of, the community of Cardano, they've kind of been relatively kumbaya very recently. They haven't been starting any trouble as far as I can tell. It's mainly been people from Solana, like almost explicitly from Solana, who are still trying to tell other people that Solana is going to be the number 1 coin and that you should get ready and start packing your bags and you're going to regret not being into it. Nobody wants your scam coin. The only people who want the scam is you because you've fallen for the actual scam. I told you earlier this year that it was a terrible coin, and then we saw that during the summer when all the entire hype of the meme coins began to rapidly disappear. And that's when a lot of the hate began, because people assumed, I don't know why, like, are you delusional? A lot of people assumed that Solana was going to be the next coin to get an ETF. And I'm like, you know, Ethereum exists. You've heard of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, right? Anywho, all they have now is basically meme coins, scam coins, trying to talk about Web3 and that new phone that nobody wants. The report noted that ETH surged during the last altcoin season, and in under 2 months, it more than doubled in value compared to Bitcoin. The shift was sparked by a surge in on-chain activity, including stablecoin issuance and the boom in NFTs, mainly on the Ethereum blockchain, which caused a huge amount of blockage within the chain itself, and that's when basically Polygon came to the rescue. Yeah, Ethereum's doing just fine. Ethereum hasn't been underperforming. It's just that people assumed that Bitcoin would be over, come on. Everyone said we'd have an over $100,000 Bitcoin by now, and people were, I guess, guesstimating a $4,000 to $5,000 Ether. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's still the most used blockchain. It's probably going to be some kind of resurgence. If you aren't paying attention, I mean, it's fair enough. On Twitter and other places, NFTs are like slowly gaining popularity once again. The idea is people are buying low, and a lot of the prices have already been going back up. So everyone's expecting Ethereum to basically take over again. But I'm also assuming that we're probably going to see a resurgence in Bitcoin ETFs, not ETFs, Bitcoin NFTs as well, the ordinals, which just seems completely logical in my book at this point. Yeah, so if we end up going to a $150,000 Bitcoin, expect a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 Ether. Just makes a lot of sense. I don't know why Ether gets so much hate, but once again, I'm assuming it's the people who didn't get into the project early and they're kind of just like rolling around in crypto mud at this point. That's the Steno research, says that Ether's recent underperformance may be over. And yeah, let's move on. Also, in very popular news, XRP apparently is collaborating with something called Open Eden to launch tokenized US Treasury bills. For those of you who missed it or maybe plugged up your ears, the lawsuit between Ripple and the SEC is over. Yay! It only took like 75 years. The secondary part is that Ripple announced that they're trying to go public or will eventually go public. The perception, the idea is that they're going to try to do so sometime in Q1 of next year. No one knows for certain. It's just that's what's being currently thrown out because the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, said like 8 times on different TV shows, we're looking into next year. Got it. The secondary part is that Ripple is making their own stablecoin called RLUSD. It either means Ripple USD or real US dollar. Doesn't matter. We had news recently from the CTO, the other guy with the hair, who recently was basically stating that it's going to be available to institutions first. The institutions will buy it, and then it'll basically be on cryptocurrency exchanges. We heard in May, somewhere around there, I don't remember, that apparently Ripple was getting into the T-bill game, treasury bills, and everyone was like, woo, why would they be doing that? For those of you who don't remember that video, it's basically what Tether does. Tether, in the very beginning, had a huge reserve for their stablecoin that was in US dollars, euros, yen. I think they also had gold and I think even property. I think one of the stablecoin issuers had like actual property, like real estate, as the backing of their coin. And then we saw Facebook coin try to launch, and that was a gigantic no-no because they also had basically other currencies from around the world. And then Tether, I assume behind the scenes, we were never told as the public what went on, but they were probably told by the US or some regulator. If you want if you want this thing to be a success or to continue, you need to basically heavily invest in the US and US dollars. So I believe that Tether is currently, I think, one of the largest holders of US Treasury bills on the planet. Like the literal planet. Tether has more treasury bills than a number of like big countries combined. So in order to kind of get the ball rolling, Ripple would basically have to do the exact same thing. So the news basically is that they're going to be tokenizing it as opposed to, I guess, having physical ones or having them somewhere else. I don't really know. It says Ripple is expanding the utility of its XRP ledger by offering tokenized US Treasury bills or T-bills onto the platform. The significant move is a part of Ripple's partnership with OpenEden, a leading provider of tokenized real-world assets. And there's the tweet for it right there. This is probably because realistically, they probably need an enormous amount of treasury bills to be able to actually back their stablecoin 1-to-1 to the US dollar. And they might have received some kind of regulatory approval to actually do so on chain as long as they're, tokenizing it on the actual blockchain. So no exact date as to when this stablecoin is going to launch. I assume it's going to be epic. And I say that because if you don't understand how much some people like Ripple and XRP prepare to be blown away, a lot of people are probably going to even use this as their main stablecoin. You think it's a joke. You don't understand how much people really like Ripple and XRP. I think the main catalyst will probably be when this gets listed on Coinbase and when this gets listed on Binance. I'm excluding Gemini just because they don't... What has Gemini done lately? They're never really in the news, but Binance and Coinbase are the biggest crypto exchanges. If it's on there, that kind of means it's legit and rip and roaring to go. The expectations for XRP's price are through the roof. I'm seeing a lot of $12 and $17 and $24. I mean, it would make sense. Most of this market doesn't make sense. But if they have a stable coin, it's doing billions of dollars in volume every single month. If they go public, the lawsuit is over. XRP is not a security. We get Ethereum pumping and Bitcoin goes over 100, 200K. Expect a $4 to $6, $7 XRP. That seems relatively believable. After that, would be nice. Yeah, that's the Ripple is tokenizing treasury bills on the XRP blockchain. And yeah, let's move on. Also in popular news, amazing. A company called Marathon Digital. Marathon Digital has added even more Bitcoin to their holdings. It says Marathon's or Mara. Okay. Mara's total Bitcoin assets are now valued at around 1.5 billion US dollars. Marathon Digital is a gigantic mining company consortium. I don't know what to really call them. A lot of people over the years were very confused that cryptocurrency companies were doing other things than the thing that they were known for. That's like Tether. Years ago, people were very shocked that Tether was buying Bitcoin. And people were like, why aren't you just into Tether? It's like years ago when we found out that some of the other people who are huge advocates for Ethereum and Tron and other projects were also buying Bitcoin. It's because they're not idiots and they understand how big Bitcoin is. And also, why would you just deal in stable coins? That doesn't make any sense. So in unsurprising news, people who mine Bitcoin aren't mining that Bitcoin to simply toss it back to the market. That was also a stupid, yes, I said the word stupid, misconception by a lot of people a number of years ago. The idea was that they were mining Bitcoin and then selling all of it at the end of the month. And I was like, why would they? Because they want the money. And I was like, if Bitcoin went from $10 to $100 to $1,000 to $10,000 to $70,000, and people are expecting it to go to $1 million, these people plan on basically holding for a long time. That's why I can tell a lot of people are new to the space. Years ago, we had a thing where basically people were kind of looking around begging for ways to actually get electricity from countries or provinces or wherever to basically mine their Bitcoin. They were using the energy from that state or that country. And that was a thing years ago. Remember when Elon Musk was like, I don't like Bitcoin because it's not completely green energy. And everyone was like, okay, cool. So the vast majority of Bitcoin being mined right now is done with renewable energy from multiple different sources. A lot of people are doing it like on huge plots of land that they own with solar panels and wind power, etc., etc. So they're in essence not really paying for the electricity, if you will. So all they basically have is profit, and they're keeping those coins for themselves. A lot of people aren't understanding that Bitcoin is going to make a lot of people wealthy. So instead of just simply having the Bitcoin that they mined, these companies have also been buying extra Bitcoin as well. See, it all makes tons of sense now, right? So Marathon Digital just bought another 5,000 Bitcoin in the last month alone. Marathon Digital Holdings, a key player in the Bitcoin mining sector, added over 5,000 Bitcoin over the past month, bringing their total Bitcoin holdings to 26,200 BTC. Valued at approximately $1.5 billion, the company shared the milestone in a recent statement. Here it is right here. Yeah, it says acquiring Bitcoin is a marathon, not a sprint. That's why a lot of people buy monthly or buy weekly or, a lot of people buy quite often. I know a lot of you out there have been buying. I see your comments all the time telling me for years that you've been dollar cost averaging and all these other things. So I assume, I hope rather, that a lot of you have as much crypto as you've been trying to get, especially if you've been here since 2016, 2017. I know a lot of you have been accumulating all the time. Yeah, companies continue to buy. No. I was going to say, I guess I personally am never like bearish, because I go over the news every single day, so I'm seeing all the news. But then I said no 15 times because I'm going over it with all of you. So you also get the exact same information that I'm getting, and you should also be consistently bullish. It's not always just about prices. It's the same exact thing during the air quote bear market. Like the market is incredibly robust. It's incredibly liquid. There's not a lot of Bitcoin left. And that's going to be a very difficult thing for people to come to terms with over the course of the next couple of years. It sounds like a joke. It's not. I promise you. A lot of people really don't understand that all of this crypto is being accumulated by the richest people on the planet. You hear that one company has 26,200 Bitcoin, you shrug your shoulders. What you're not getting, I'm sure some of you have also seen those like Bitcoin documentaries where all these people are in all these tropical warm countries and yada yada. They're trying to build these weird utopian cities and stuff like that. These people individually are also holding 4,000 Bitcoin, 7,000 Bitcoin, and they're buying all the time. It's not just these companies. Yeah. Anywho, that's the Marathon Digital, or Mara, is holding 26,200 Bitcoin. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do sincerely hope that you're all having a great day, that you're all trying to take it easy. Hope you're all having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.